Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's see what's up here. My guides, talk to me. What's going on for the Rams? The Aries collective in mid-January. We're getting the new year started off right. What energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at that first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries gang. What do you got for us here, my gods? Talk to me. What is happening in mid-January? The world is a very interesting place these days, okay? And we have the femme fatale. Now, for us, this could be a really good thing. There is a little energy of alluring confidence. It's beautiful energy, but there's also something you might need to be a little leery of when this card is here, because there is a cautionary energy attached to it as well. But I love the confidence with this. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this femme fatale. So we see this beautiful, confident, sexy, divine feminine figure here, and I just love it. She's decked out in red, and as an Aries, that's one of our big colors here, so maybe some of you are rocking some red a little more than you normally do, but she reminds me of the Queen of Wands when I see her. So there's a lot of really good characteristics when she shows up in reading. There's also an energy of temptation here, so for any Aries out there that's trying to refrain from certain things, refrain from certain behaviors, this card could be very tempting to you, where it's like, maybe I can, maybe just once, maybe a little bit. That's the vibe we pick up. But I always say, look at the underlying imagery. Notice she's holding a rose, which has thorns. There's Venus flytraps that are underneath her that secrete a sweet smell. So, of course, there's a good confidence to this card, but there's always that underlying energy. Watch out for too much spontaneity when she shows up here as well, but there's like this alluring temptation. Now, for a small bit of Aries out there, this could just be a really great confidence in you moving forward. So if you've been a little bit down in the dumps, femme fatale's like, screw it, I'm going, I'm doing it, I'm making something happen. So we're just going to leave it at that. We'll put her down there. She could chill. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. See what's happening here for Aries gang. And while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Tons of fire element, which is one of our comfortable elements. The reading was titled An Explosive Situation, so that didn't necessarily feel bad to me. It felt like something picking up steam quickly, like 0 to 100, like I just mentioned. But I will say, for like the past several weeks, I've been feeling like a really nice energy moving towards the Aries collective. So we're going to hope to keep that going. I mean, we'll see how this fiery type of energy still sits with us as we move through this week. But yeah, let's get it going here. Let's get these 3 cards out. And yeah, I always say, just go with the flow here. Only take what's yours. Energy is never set in stone, and we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get 3 cards. What do we got for Aries gang, please? What is happening in mid-January? Thank you. Okay, Hermit, a little quiet. So as I'm talking about all this confidence and alluring energy, we have this Hermit, which is like very pulled back. Now, for some of you, this could be a really great energy for spiritual things. Let's keep moving. It is like a little pullback for whatever reason. Let's see what else comes up. Thank you. All right, 2 of Pentacles, cool. So this could be someone just like getting their bearings straight. Like, okay, I need to pace myself. I don't know why that's showing up here. It showed up with the femme fatale. It's showing up here like, pace myself. I just need to pace myself. Let's get one more. We'll start piecing it together. Thank you. And the Fool, one of our power cards. So interesting how the energy does like a little push-pull. All right, yeah, the time will come for something. That's definitely the case with what I'm seeing here. So an interesting play, the way the energies playing off of each other. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, elementally, and you know I always like to look at the elements first. We do have a lot of earth here, which sometimes for us Aries, that could be a little frustrating. But when I see the Hermit, Two of Pentacles, these are generally good earthy energies. So for some of you, there might be specific tasks that you have in mind. You might be very career oriented, stacking those pentacles, chasing those pentacles. Now, when it comes to earthy energy, it's not the fastest moving. So with that explosive energy we saw last week, this could be something starting to settle down. This could be patience in various forms, but we do have the Fool, one of our power cards, right there on the back. So there is a return to this fiery forward momentum. So it's like, okay, we have this energy that's juggling, it's weighing things. We have a pullback, we have a go forward. It's like pull back, go forward, pull back, go forward. So we'll see, it's an ebb and flow in the energy. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, the Hermit. Now, as with every card in the whole entire tarot deck, this could be very, very good. There could be some challenges with this card as well. You might be connected to Virgo, maybe you have Virgo placements yourself, but to me, I always say it's retracted, it's taken a step back. Now, in the positive sense, this Hermit could represent wisdom. It's very deep spiritual energy as well. So for a lot of you, it could be digging into like esoteric topics and spirituality in general, a lot of spiritual experiences when this card is here. So I do like it. But the challenges, it could represent solitude. It could represent someone that's feeling a little bit lonely. It could represent not giving energy to something as well. Communication issues could be very common here. So whether it's like blockages or not communicating properly, we'll just see what it is. I'm not necessarily feeling like this is a challenge yet, but we'll just have to see. And again, this could be someone you're connected to. It doesn't have to be you being in hermit mode. Moving to the center, we have the Two of Pentacles. Beautiful, usually a very good harmonious type of card. And we see our friend there. They have the infinity symbol. So we do have like these strong spiritual undertones to this reading this week. Now, in the positive sense, this is a card of harmony, balance. Now, twos represent partnerships, choosing a direction, choosing a path. So when I see this Two of Pentacles, it's chill. So if you need to make a decision, it's like, oh, you're going to make the right one, or you're on the right path. But there is this strong karmic energy connected to this as well. So whether it's universal energy, we'll just have to see when we get to it. Now, the challenge that comes along with this Two of Pentacles, sometimes it could be someone juggling things. So whether you have a lot on your plate or a lot you want to do, my energy's in a lot of different places. That's a big thing with this card. And it could also represent an imbalance, whether it's in a situation or with someone themselves. But again, we'll see when we clarify, because I don't want to jump to conclusions. I think I always give the cards the benefit of the doubt before we clarify them. Now, on to the back end, this is a beautiful sight. As we get that Two of Pentacles put back in the middle, we have the Fool. As I already mentioned, one of our power cards. This is big Aries energy. So since this is an Aries energy, extra important that this card comes out. It could just tell us when we clarify it's something that's coming towards us or a way we might be feeling. This is a huge action card. So as the Hermit is taking a step back, the Fool is diving right in. So it's like we have this push pull in the energy, which could be okay. I mean, it doesn't always have to be go, go, go. And that's why I said there could be something where either you need to be a little patient with it, or your time will come, just give it a little time, or be strategic. That could definitely be the case. Now, the Fool is the first of the whole major arcana. It's an initiator, so it is about taking action. It's fire element, so it has some explosive tendencies itself, but usually it's happy, content type of energy, and it's ready to get something going. Now, when we get to the challenge of the Fool, sometimes it could be someone acting a little bit foolish. Sometimes it could represent somebody that is a little too spontaneous or putting a little too much energy into something. That's what I'm saying with this balanced earth energy. It's like pace yourself. You need to pace yourself. I'm not going to quite say caution, but we'll see. I think the Fool is very powerful for us Aries. But we're going to put him down right there. Yeah, I want to dive deeper on all of it, my friends. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's happening for Aries? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Hermit? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to get to Aries, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see what this Hermit's about. Let's see, is it a positive or is it a challenge? Page of Swords, yeah. So there is something here about strategy and planning. Okay, so whether it's you that you have something in the works or somebody else, where it's like, oh no, there's plans being laid. We also have this Page of Swords, which is the Watcher. So it's like, I'm going to watch and wait, or I'm going to be very strategic about something, which I think is good. Now, I do say this quite often. For us Aries, we do get the reputation sometimes about diving headfirst into things. We can be spontaneous. We're just filled with a lot of fire. But when I see the Hermit and the Page of Swords, it's like, no, I'm going to collect myself. I'm going to be very smart about this. I'm going to move forward in a calculated type of way. That's just the energy I'm picking up here. Now, we'll see if it breaks through in any sort of capacity on the back end. But let's talk about the Page. This could be a talk, of course. The Page of Swords could be a little defensive. So when I see the Hermit, Page of Swords, it's like, I'm not really hearing much, or I'm not hearing back from much. But the big vibe intuitively I'm getting here is either one, there's somebody paying close attention to you or a situation where it's like, I'm going to keep tabs on this, or there's planning, okay? Whether it's coming from your end or somebody else's, there's like a strong calculated planning going on. Again, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing because it could be very good, but that's just how it feels. Like it's gonna watch and wait. I'm gonna watch and wait. I'm gonna see how this goes. Which, if you are going through various situations, whether it is work, whether it is personal, this could be spirit urging you to take that approach where it's like, all right, just give it a minute. Be a little cautious about it. Let's keep moving. A lot of strategy and watching here. But let's see what that Two of Pentacles has. I can't wait to get to the Fool to see how that action comes through. Let's see why the Two of Pentacles is in the mix for Aries. What's going on? Quick. Yeah, and the energy does start to move. We have the Page of Wands, another one of our power cards. Interesting that we have all this fresh page energy underneath. Tells me there's a lot of potential. Okay, with whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever situations you're going through, it's like, no, there's potential here. You might not quite be seeing it just yet, but there's a lot of potential for growth, especially with two powerful pages in the underlying. Now, I will say this, Page of Wands, that is another one of our cards. I already mentioned that, but just like the other page, yeah, it could be a talk of some kind, but it's also someone pacing themselves, calm down, because with the Page of Wands, it's putting so much energy into something. It's putting so much energy in that it can burn itself out. So when I see it underneath the Two of Pentacles, it's like the time will come. It's almost here. Something's coming in. Okay, like even if it hasn't come, I don't know how long you've been waiting on this or how long you've been working towards something. It's like we have the planning phase. The time is almost here. Then we'll see how the action goes. But I like this Page of Wands. Again, it's urging us to take a calculated approach, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just step by step, step by step. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't know why that's coming through. So again, if you're going through personal situations or relationships, it could be Spirit telling you to not rush a process. If it's work, it's like, okay, just follow the steps, follow the steps. Let's see what's up with the Fool. And then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the Shadow card. And yeah, let's keep it moving. So why is the Fool card here? I mean, a lot of communication in the undergrowth. So it's like, yeah, we have this energy that's being a little quiet. Then this one's wide open. So there might be someone you're connected to where their energy just isn't open enough yet. Let's see what the Fool has. Why is the Fool here for my good friends? Thank you. Okay, yeah, and beautiful. So it's like we have this lovely fresh type of energy all through the clarifiers. We have the Ace of Wands, okay, and they share a lot of similarities with the pages. They all represent new. They represent opportunities. They represent offers. So when I see it under a card of us, it's like, listen, Aries, you got a big opportunity coming up, or someone's going to make you an offer. And it's like a really tempting one from what I'm seeing here with the Ace of Wands. And it's like, you need to jump on this, and you'll know when the time is right, like instinctually, intuitively, you'll know when the time to act is. That's what this feels like. Now, aces, just like pages, have a lot of potential, tons and tons of potential, and they can be communication based. But at the same time, if you don't make action towards it, if you don't move towards it in a proper way, it can fizzle out. So that's the only caution I have here. It's like, yeah, be calculated, but when the time comes, you got to make a move, right? When the time comes, you need to pounce on it, because then it could fizzle if you don't. So it's like this weird balancing act we have going on, where it's like, all right, well, don't dive head first, but don't be too slow about it. So like that's the energy I'm picking up, which I feel like there's a lot of potential here, if I'm going to be honest. So I do feel like we have a nice flow of energy continuing from the last few weeks. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card, and let's talk this over a little more. A lot of similar themes showing up, a little bit of a push-pull in the energy, so whether your energy is wide open and someone else is not quite, I mean, it all really depends on the situation. But position number one, we have the Hermit and the Page of Swords. So I already mentioned multiple times, a calm, calculated approach might be necessary. This could be somebody in the planning phase of something where it's like, no, I'm going to do this right. I'm not going to go in there all wild like this Page of Wands. It's like this needs to be structured step by step. So either whether this is someone watching and waiting, watching and planning, I'm getting both of those here in the front. Into the center, we have a pretty open energy. We have the Two of Pentacles with the Page of Wands. So it's like, yes, a balanced approach. So like, make action, but not too much. It's all about balancing the effort you put into something. That could be extremely important. But again, tons of potential, especially leading to the back end where we have the Fool card, us, with the Ace of Wands, new opportunities, new offers, especially with all these pages. So we have a lot of really primo energy here this week, which I really think is good. But it's like, you'll know when the time comes. When you got to make a move, when you got to take some action, you'll know, you'll feel it instinctually. So when that door opens, walk through it, because if you dilly-dally, that's when it could really fade away. So take that for whatever it's worth, my friends. And yeah, please feel free to take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let us see what is in the shadows. Let's get a good shuffle here with the shadow deck. I like it. I mean, for the most part, this reading feels like there's a lot of potential in it. So let's see what's going on here for Aries in mid-January. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got in the shadows? Thank you. Cool. Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, more of that balanced pentacle type of energy. So now is a great time, especially if your focus is on career things. I love the Eight of Pentacles. And this is a card of effort. I always say that. So when it comes to relationships and connections, the Eight of Pentacles could just represent like, all right, what do you want to put your energy into? Do you actually want to work on this? Do you want to put energy into this? Or do you want to put it elsewhere? For some of you, it can literally connect to what you do for a living, how you earn money. And the fact that this is in the shadows, it's like, yeah, I have the energy, or the energy is building up to do something, but it's all about the approach, especially with what we saw here this week. Because this Eight of Pentacles, sometimes it could try a little too hard. It could do a little too much. So it fits the theme with what we saw this week. It's like, you know, the energy's coming into alignment. Things are coming into place. But it's like, you need to act when the time is right and don't force anything. That's a big thing with the Eight of Pentacles in the shadows. Okay, I mean, unless you're having work issues when this card is here, but again, this doesn't feel bad to me. There's a lot of potential throughout the whole entire reading. So Aries, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.